Anfield is synonymous with the
Liverpool.
Liverpool Football Club,
Yeah.
which is one of the richest clubs in the world. So
That's a you thing.
this is part. Yeah, just get your head around
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah,
This
yeah. It's
is
crazy.
this
Yeah.
is the paradox of the situation where you have a massively rich club,
Mm.
but you have one of the most deprived areas
Mm.
in the country. And so those disparities, we see them all the time. And
Mm.
so it's actually really important to us that we are serving our communities, not only by the things we do in the Liverpool Lighthouse, but even through a festival like this. It's really important for us to ensure that we are able to sweep the community in through
Yeah.
local initiatives and assistance, and make sure that they're not priced out or that they don't feel
Mm-hmm.
as though they are not involved.
Share. Affinity Xtra. Be extra.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Xtra.
Yeah, people, this is boy here, Roger Moore, and if you need to extra celebrating gospel music of Black Origin, I am here on my Edge show, and you know, Edge show is Edge show, but the thing is with Edge show, it's like, you know, I just kind of like want to get the inside scoop on certain things going on in the gospel music industry here in the UK, and also we do health and all these different things, but today's show is about an event by, you know, in a as you can tell by my my tones, I'm from the Mercia Kingdom, right in the middle of the UK, and we're going to be talking about a festival that's taking place in the area which, as a Manchester United fan born in Birmingham, I have no allegiance to. I it's a scary area for me, but I have to say it is like this festival's revolutionary. I have to say revolutionary. Reason why I say it's revolutionary, I have been in the gospel music scene since I was born, but now since the 90s, and I have never ever witnessed an event like this a few years back. I was so proud about the event that actually linked towards a football team locally to it. It was an event that I had to look up towards a place where a football stadium, which I had fun looking to, but it was a stage which my mouth was open. Now, I've put many performances and different things out there. I've said to myself, I'll never do an outside event, but this event was outside in the beautiful blue skies of the north of the Liverpool region, you know, and it was hosted by an amazing group of people. Somebody that I've got to know since 2020 through GMIA, Anu Omideyi, you know, and totally inspired, you know, to go to do this festival. I have, and you know, guys, we can look at things and be jealous, but look at things and be inspired. It's inspired me to even look back at my hometown and go, you know what? I am not accepting what we're doing right now. This festival has, and guys, I don't intend to go into confession sessions, so that was no speech, no funniness. That is straight from my heart, and that's just real talk. I'm in awe with this space. I'm involved with the people that are involved in the project. When I come to the Liverpool Lighthouse, I just love the staff. You know what I'm saying? It's just, they're just so loving. I went to a choir event where my whole time my mouth has hit the ground because I've seen the whole of Liverpool in one town hall here to see gospel music, and I'm in awe. I can't believe this. Every time they throw me off, and I have to say I'm expecting to be absolutely listen. I'm expecting Houston. We have a problem situation going on here right now in Liverpool on the 4th of May, Sunday. You know, we've got to do it on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm well excited about this event, and I'm here to speak to Anu Omideyi because I want to really get to, as somebody's putting events, I want you guys to hear the heart. I want to hear some reason why, you know, why not Liverpool, why not Leicester, why not Birmingham, why not Coventry, why Liverpool, you know, but the thing is, Liverpool has now become one of the hubs for gospel music. Now, I am a gospel music dude, when has that happened? You know what I'm saying? And it's been done in a matter of a few years, and its foundation has been going on for 20 years. I did go to Liverpool for the gospel for a GMIA event summit many years ago. And to see where it is today, it shows you there was some foundation that was put a while ago at the, I believe it was became culture capital. You know what I mean? I remember that scene watching on GMTV or something, and they had this choir singing along, and I was like, yeah. And now they have a festival. Like, people, this is amazing. Yo, first of all, guys, clap, buy your tickets, done. Everything's done. This is how we're going. Right, excellent interview. But listen, let me just talk to Anu Omideyi about this. Sorry, guys, I had to just come with that beginning still, yeah, because you know what? It had to happen. You know what I'm saying? Anu, please, just say hi to everybody out there for us.
Hey, how you doing? What an introduction. I don't even know what to say at this point. I feel like you just said a lot. We now gotta go and live up to that. No, seriously, thank you so much. That's really heartwarming to hear the impact that it's had on you. I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, but it never gets old hearing you talk from your heart about the impact of the festival. It never gets old because, listen, you know what it's like to put on events, and so you know what goes into it and all the work that goes behind it. And so really, me and my team, we're just head down working hard. You know, we hardly get the opportunity to sit back and to appreciate the impact that it's having on everybody else. So yeah, thank you for that kind introduction. That means a lot, more than you know. It really does.
Listen, the start of team, that's the truth from Roger, and Roger did not even prep that up, man. That was freestyling out there still. Yeah, I should be, you know what I mean, if I could put words together better, I could have been a freestyle battle rapper. But anyway, take that aside. But no, the event, let's go back up the stage now. So I'm like, again, minding my own business a few years ago, and I kind of hear talkings. You spoke to me about festival. What inspired you to do a gospel festival outdoors with no roof in the middle of Liverpool? like and not even in June, in September. What?
It was September, yeah. What? Okay, so just in case people are confused, this year is obviously in May, and it's indoors.
Yeah. Indoors.
Because this year was postponed from last year. But we're going to see what the future holds in terms of outdoors. But the dream is to get back outdoors. That's certainly the goal. Now, what inspired me? Well, I was brought from London to Liverpool just after the pandemic to spread gospel music in the Northwest, to develop it, right? And the aim was to really build on the traditions already begun by Liverpool Lighthouse in terms of gospel music. They had been like a dedicated arts council centre for gospel music for many years in terms of project funding, etc., and recognise that they do things to do with gospel music. And so my brief was like to develop gospel music in the Northwest. To, you know, there's so much rich tradition in the Northwest of gospel already. It's in Manchester, Liverpool, surrounding areas, etc. But to really take that to another level. And so as I became involved in the city, because I feel like, you know, Southerners, sometimes we take things for granted. We don't really go to a city and watch and assimilate and learn the culture of the city. We think we can just bring our own stuff, and that's not really what I wanted to do. And I was grateful that I didn't do that, because it became really clear to me really quickly that Liverpool loves music. Yeah. Like it really does. Like it's just a city that really holds on to music, and they love their festivals, and they love just getting out. And I was having a chat with the mayor of Liverpool. So I know it's wild. Yeah, I know. He's giving me a funny face in case you're listening to this and not watching this. But I was, and we were just talking about just the work that I had just started to do. So this was in the first year that I got there, and what the desires were. And she was just like, you know what? I love the idea of making Liverpool a destination city for gospel music.
Beautiful.
Let's go for it. So she kind of gave me some assistance in terms of connections and people to talk to that could help me move the needle, etc. But that wasn't the big thing. That was just the beginning of my thought process, because I am a woman of faith, and so in everything that I do, I will take that to God, right? On a real, I'll say, Lord, what do you think about this? If this is what you want, please lead me in this, and if it's not what you want, we'll do something else. So I did all of that, and it just following the seed that this mayor had sown in my mind, and it really just began to develop, especially because if you can get it right, a festival platform is much more than just a concert or an event. It's a platform for artists across the country and international artists, because we get a lot of requests by international artists to be on the stage.
Of course.
And if we do it right and we continue to build on it, it becomes a platform that is public facing. So it means that anyone who enjoys the music can come. Now, this in turn means that you start to develop new audiences. And if you're developing new audiences outside of the church or outside of the gospel music community, and you're really getting people who just love the music but are afraid to come to church, or love the music but are afraid to sing it because they're black, they're white, or they're not black, then you can build an industry, because you need a big audience of people that are willing to pay for the music, not just to attend a festival, but to then stream music or go to other music events, and you start to build an economy. And with my GMIA hat on, because you and I are co-chairs for the Gospel Music Industry Alliance UK, and so with my GMIA hat on, and with my Lighthouse National Gospel Music Centre hat on, it was a perfect fit for gospel music across the country. To have a festival in a city that embraces music and that's known for its music in many different directions. This was obviously a gap. They didn't have anything to do with gospel on that kind of level. And then it's a platform. It's in the north, because gospel has traditionally been very south heavy. It's been a lot of great work up and down the country, a lot of work in Birmingham, in the Midlands, a lot of work even in Manchester in the north, work in Liverpool, even in Scotland, etc. But a lot of the focus has been south, and that's something that we wanted to change. And so all of the factors came together, and so that's really how the idea began, and that's how we ran with it.
That's cool, man. I thought my bars were like you was ready for that, but no. And I think that for me, what's amazing for me, I think there's been a lack of platforms around the UK. You took about 20 years ago, as we know, when we were in our younger days, you would see even American acts actually make the effort to go to Birmingham, Manchester. There used to be almost like a tour circuit that you had to do. And even as artists, they will be hitting different cities. And artists now seem to especially London-based artists, they don't seem to naturally come out of London unless they go abroad. And I feel that that's a disservice, where there's more people that live outside the country, outside the city of London, than actually live inside it. And I feel that it really restricts the demographic and the type of audience that we're hitting if we stay in London alone. So it's really powerful to see a platform, and people have to appreciate the platform and the effort of the platform to actually set up in an area where no one expected. You know what I mean? And no one put no bets on this, and it's absolutely amazing. From what was really hit me with what you guys are doing now, I've seen a lot of startup, and not only friends, but startup or new shows and whatever. And there's a lot of mistakes, but the elementary mistakes that they made when doing a project like this. As someone experienced, you go, yeah. Guys, the production was on point. In terms of the aesthetics, the equipment, the staffing, the hospitality, there's little things, and I think that is not even little things, it's just I would even say there's little things, crowds, there's things you can always improve on. But when I went there, I thought, you know what? This was an event that was not rushed overnight. It was done 100%, you know, with, you know, planning, investment. And I see the investment in that stage, and I'm really proud that I could actually capture that, you know. Guys, check it out on Uncut, you know, Affinity Extra. We sneak some footage out there of that event. Well, you're saying so, and we're looking to go back again, guys. So we're gonna go back down and get some reports for this year. So talk to us. So I went there last time, and guys, don't tell nobody. But that's the first time I've seen Kingdom Choir live. But anyway, just to letting people know, you know what I'm saying, I saw some amazing choirs on the other days. And it's the first time I saw. No, second time I've seen. Have I seen? No, I don't think I've seen Called Out live before. So for me, it's cool to see artists that don't usually come outside of London, you know what I mean, actually go and see these platforms. So it's really cool for me to actually see them. I know all the music, play all the music on the Affinity Extra, but I've never seen them perform. So it's really, really, really great. But so this year now, talk to me about the bill. Talk to me about the bill. And
I am going to talk to you about the bill, but I do want to comment, if you don't mind, on just some of the stuff you've said, because it's really, really,
go
really
for it.
interesting. I think there are some artists that come out of London naturally, and there are others that don't. Actually, I feel like the more successful the artist is, the more likely they are to come out of London. So a called out's been out, you know.
100%.
Yeah. The UK, yeah, he'll go around, and even Kingdom Choir, although they'll kind of, you know, this is from last time, although they'll go out, but they'll do so, you know, in accordance with venues or cities that can accommodate, you know, their bill, or a promoter that's done that. And I think what's important is that, you know, if you're London based, just think about the country. And I think, firstly, equally, I think if you're in any city, think about the country. Think about, you know, your home audience. Obviously, you've got to cater to them first and go to them first. But then also just lift up your eyes a bit and just be like, well, hang on, there is a whole country out here, and you have people all over the country who would like to hear your music if you cultivate it well. So if you're putting out music, you know, look at your back end of your statistics and find out, you know, where people are listening to you. And if there are some gaps, you know, try and understand why that might be the case, and where, you know, the people are listening to you. You can start off there because you just know that you've got some following there, and then just think about how you can speak to different audiences, because that's the big thing about the festival, which will bring me to answer the question you just asked me. I'm always going to get people that can speak to different audiences. So, you know, if you're an artist and you're listening, or even if you're just a music lover, or if you're just a Roger lover or Affinity Extra lover, you know, and you're listening to this because of them, you know, I think that it's always just worth thinking, well, how can we get the gospel music out to audiences that are different from us? An audience that doesn't live in my city, an audience that doesn't look like me, an audience that doesn't worship the way I worship, an audience that doesn't even worship at all. And your market then just begins to get bigger. And that's not compromising who you are or what you do. It's just making space for other people to listen. And that's really what the festival is about, which really informs the bill. So on this bill, our headliners are Michelle John, who, if you know about gospel music, she has been plodding away at music, and gospel music in particular, for decades, right? You know, I've seen footage of her on, you know, as a teenager singing on gospel events and what have you, right there in the front, you know. She's been at it for a long time, and she deserves her flowers. She's a phenomenal artist. I always look forward to seeing her perform, because she leaves everything on the table, and she's just an excellent vocalist. Right? Yeah, so I always look forward to her. The London Community Gospel Choir, LCGC, I mean, most people in gospel will know that they too have done they've done their dues. They've been around for 40 years. They have really championed the sound of gospel in and out of church spaces. And particularly, I love the fact that they can speak to lots of different audiences, and they're a quality and legacy act.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to headline like that, you know, you that makes a lot of sense for me. But then you've got festival favorites, Volney, Morgan, and New Year. I mean,
they spent,
you know,
You got no, like they just throw it up. You know what I mean? They throw it up last time, man. They throw it up.
no, the thing about as soon as they got on stage, you just see all the heads. Everybody in that focus is like, who are they?
You know what I mean?
And out of everybody that we had last year, they were definitely the artist that everybody wanted to know about.
Cool.
And they just loved. They were so infectious. I mean, everyone who knows Volney and New Year knows what to expect. So, and then, again, it's the consistency and the ability to speak to different audiences. But then you have a great mixture. So when you're putting together a bill like this, and if I'm serious about being really diverse and taking people from across the country and showcasing different types of gospel music, then I have to put my money where my mouth is. And so in terms of choirs, and obviously the choir sound is what the general public often associates with gospel music. And remember, we are still educating the general public about gospel music and just developing those new audiences and walking them on the journey to really understanding the full range of gospel music. We've got a lot of great choirs. I've got a number of my choirs from Liverpool, Love and Joy Gospel Choir, who've been around in Liverpool for the last 30 odd years. And so Liverpool really knows their choir. Lighthouse Choir, which started off during the pandemic, but it's done a lot of TV appearances since, and just some really good stuff all over the city and beyond. My youth choir, which are incredible. They get better gigs than some of the adults, and I don't know if they know how how lucky they are, but they're actually really good and they work really hard too. So you know, and that's come out of the local gospel music into schools program that we do, which is something different. We can talk about that later. So the choirs come out of that. And then you have Manchester Inspirational Voices. If you know Wayne Ellington, he is one of the smoothest, silkiest voices in gospel. He is world class. I never hear him without being in awe every single time. It just doesn't get old listening to him. And he handles his choir exceptionally well, and they're a lovely and great bunch of people, and they give a great sound and a great performance. And then on the other side you've got younger choirs. Birmingham BIM Gospel Choir, they won the University Gospel Choir of the Year in 2024. So I booked them for that because the winner of we had a partnership with UGCY in 24, and the winner of that was always going to be on the stage. What I didn't bank for is that we'd have to postpone the festival because of the riots and the economic climate last year. So they're here this year, but they've lived up to that bill because they are so successful. They have been everywhere because they are great. They do a really great job. And Jerome runs that, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jerome
Bucknor. And he's obviously, hails from the Midlands, and he's a good guy. And again, he really gets a really great sound. They work hard, speak to different audiences. So that's kind of, by way of choirs. But then you've got your rap elements. You've got your Triple O, who is, he's been in the game for a while.
Man. He's been around for a minute.
He's been around for a minute. And again, I feel like that space he deserves. And I really enjoy, his output. He's got some great collabs. I'm looking forward to him collabing with VM and New Year on that champion track. I love that champion track. And then you've got Rebla, who's a little bit newer in terms of rap, but it just exciting at the moment. He's doing incredible stuff, working very, very hard. Nominated for a Mobo Award this year. Great guy,
Yeah.
heart for Jesus, love it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Again, able to speak to different audiences, and then I had to bring Tafumi Adorna back. She also had a great impact last time, and a lot of people were asking for her. I've got a
Yes.
lovely lady called Natalie Oakley. She's kind of a little new to the gospel scene, even though she's had a lot of she's grown up in the gospel environment, but people might remember her from
Go on.
I want to say it's Britain's Got Talent when she was a child and she sang, I think, an Alicia Keys song, and it went viral because she was incredible. Well, she was developing her artistry,
Okay.
and yeah, and she does some good Afrobeat stuff. So I'm looking forward to some Afro gospel in relation to that. I had to get some in with my African heritage.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
couldn't,
yeah.
because
This is how we do it,
I
man.
wanted to ensure I had that representation there. And so, yeah, up and down, you've just got a lot of a great mixture in terms of gender, geography, styles, subgenres. It's gonna be a really, really good day.
It's gonna be a crazy day.
It's gonna be a
And
crazy
I
day. It's
think
gonna be super cool.
And I think that, one thing I've obviously guys know me like for doing rap events. So for me, when it come into listening to Bill, it's kind of almost goes against my almost mental grain when that's usually I see loads of rappers on it in my head. But like, what I think is really important that people realize when it comes to the when it comes to the public as well, they're looking for gospel music. When you say there's a gospel festival, and no, nothing against the rappers and the gospel, the message, the subgenres of gospel music, but they're looking for gospel, and I really do appreciate the fact that basically you are bringing forth choirs and the traditional sound of gospel, and I think that's something that we have run away from publicly in terms of doing events, and we lean upon the subgenres from R&B, hip hop, UK rap. Over the years, and actually forgot the fact that basically let's go back to where we come from. You know what I'm saying? And where we're coming from. And I felt the crowd was real responsive towards the choirs, and you done amazing. It's quite amazing to see. When I say the community choirs, even when I'm hearing them singing songs, I'm like, yo, these guys are cool. And it sounds like I'm gonna sound like a stereotypical guy from church, man. I'm like, yo, these guys are alright. Community choirs, yo, they just sing two harmonies if they're lucky, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at things like that, and I'm going, oh, bless them, Lord, before they even start this. Lord, forgive them, coming now, I know what they do. But anyway, but then when I'm like, hold on a second, they sound better than the youth choir at my church. You know what I mean? They're actually, and you can see, I remember last time, and there's this, I'll never forget this, forgive me to the old geezer with the bald head. it was their singing one of the choirs. I just remember he just loved, I think he's done performing arts in his life or something. He's done opera, he's done some sort of theatre singing or something, or whatever. And when he come there, he's singing in a choir with so much passion. I'm watching him hard, like, go on, let me see you switch off. I never switched off for a second. And it felt like it was a Liverpool gospel festival. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just the church, like we would call it a tent crusade meeting. When you would just go, we just go, and there'd be a load of, there'd be a load of us black people in a tent, shouting out, getting a gun, playing great stuff, but the community is not engaged. This is not that. This is a full-on Liverpool gospel festival. You look at the crowd, you look at the pictures, you look at the receipts. I'm looking there and going, wow, everyone's cheering, and I'm looking, wow. And I saw friends that live about 2 miles up the road from me in Birmingham, and I'm meeting them. I ain't seen them for ages, and I saw them in Liverpool at this event. This is how important this event, and I think it's real important for artists like Tafumi. I remember when it's the first time I saw her, and I was like, I hit wisdom. I'm going to put his receipt out there. I said, wisdom. He goes, Roger. Who's that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And from there, she has took this thing seriously, and in a year and a half, she's doing real good stuff within gospel. She bringing out some good music, and at the same time, she's on a mobile song grouping, or I don't know what to call it, almost
Yeah.
list. So it's amazing.
And she was nominated for a MOBO as well.
She's nominated for the mobile, but
She was, in 2024. So like after that, she just whoosh.
she's
And
serious, man.
it's amazing. That's what it's there for. That's what it's supposed to assist with.
No, it's not. Now, something what people may not be prepared for, which you need to get pat sandwiches out there for, because it is not a 2-hour concert. It's not a 3-hour
No, it's a
concert.
festival. If you go to festivals, you're there all day. It's a proper festival. The only difference this time is that it's indoors. But you've got stalls. You say bring your packed lunch if you need to. But we've got food stalls and stuff that you can buy at and stuff like that. And we still want to kind of keep that festival atmosphere. So we've got standing space, we've got sitting space, we've got all of that. So it's from 3 to 11. And the great thing, from 3 to 10:30, I think. And the great thing about that is that you can come and go. You can come. You've got the lineup and the order on the website.
Yeah.
Liverpool Lighthouse .com /LGMF. And then you'd be like, okay, I'm coming here, I'm coming there. Some people come in, they do their bits, they go out for a bit, they come back. That's festival vibes. That's the whole thing. And as you said, it's a very, very mixed crowd, and that's very intentional. So you get the full church goers that worship with gospel music, that know some of the songs, that go in and they're in there, they're having a worship experience. It's wonderful. And on the other hand, you'll get people who are, they've never walked into a Christian event in their lives.
Yeah.
You get many people from other faiths or no faiths at all, atheists. Everyone is just there together. So the Christians come out and be like, oh, we worshipped and we really felt good. And the non-Christians come out and say, oh, the vibes were so good. It just felt so good. I felt touched. Something happened to me. It was really cool. And that's exactly what we want. And it's not just a place where you go and you see one race either. It's very, very mixed ethnically as well. And this is exactly what we want. So you literally can just come and just enjoy, just feel the vibes and the spirit from whichever way you're coming from, and bring everybody as well. It's a family day out. No,
100%. And I think that, and what I will say, I kind of watch the inner workings of certain situation, because like for me to bring out so many people from the community, it isn't the case that you paid £500 to Facebook and it hit all these people. What people have to realize, that you reap what you sow. And I have to rate Liverpool Lighthouse. They've sowed in their community for the past 20 years. And when you sow seeds, when you serve your community, it enables you to be a space of to be able to execute this. And I've testimony to me going to the space. I can read into spaces, and a place that is open for the community to come in, whether they're full hungry, being amongst the education system in Liverpool as well, being part of the musical education system as well, in terms of after school as well. To serve your community allows you to be in a space to be blessed by your community of coming out of this festival. So don't think you can come out there and says, yo, I'm gonna do a carnival. If they can do it, I can do it. Guys, this is not an overnight success. This has been developed over time, and I just have to really salute the what has happened in Liverpool, and just everything doesn't come overnight, but you can see when I'm looking around, I'm baffled about the community, because if I did the same thing now in Birmingham, it wouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? Not because Roger hasn't been out there with the gospel. You have to serve your community, and that space, the Liverpool Lighthouse has served the community. Could have been done, but could have been different ways. That's cool. But they serve their community, young people, young children, the needy, the hungry, right there, about literally a mile away from less than a mile, and you can see Liverpool football ground from where you are.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's right behind it.
Right behind it. So right in the heart of Liverpool Lighthouse has been serving now to do a gospel festival there with so many different people, and like I said, the choirs are great, and I love the way that you've given space as well for local acts, and local really choir acts. I think that's 100% important, and it's good to see Manchester coming across the M6 because they don't tend to do that too often. You know what I mean?
It's really. Can I just say something about
yeah.
that? So, in terms of Liverpool Lighthouse 7, the community, it's critically important, and we really, really take that quite seriously. Anfield is one of the most deprived areas in the country. And people don't recognize that. They don't know that because Anfield is synonymous with the Liverpool Football Club, which is one of the richest clubs in the world. So
That's a you thing.
this is part. Yeah, just get your head around that. This is
crazy.
This is the paradox of the situation where you have a massively rich club, but you have one of the most deprived areas in the country. And so those disparities, we see them all the time. And so it's actually really important to us that we are serving our communities, not only by the things we do in the Liverpool Lighthouse, but even through a festival like this. It's really important for us to ensure that we are able to sweep the community in through local initiatives and assistance, and make sure that they're not priced out or that they don't feel as though they are not involved. So, I mean, it was open to us to use central venues for the festival because obviously we had to postpone, as we've discussed before, because of the riots, and we wanted to do it indoors because we just couldn't tell what impact those riots might have in the long term and how people might feel safety wise. It was open to us to use central venues, but we really, really wanted to keep it for North Liverpool because that's always been an area that's been forsaken, right? And so all this to say that whenever we as Christians are doing our duty and we're trying to move the kingdom forward through different things, a festival, a concert, a business event, a conference, I would encourage us where possible to try and think about all of those people who might otherwise be left out because they might actually be the very people who need it the most.
Come on now. No, 100%, and again, blessings, sister, and we do appreciate a holistic element of the gospel that we need to be delivering in our communities. And I think that this is what inspires me, inspired me years ago growing up, meeting up Annie when you first moved up there and so on, and actually seeing what the work is going on there. And I'm just really at awe what they're doing. And for myself personally, whether I'm in charge of Infinity Xtra, wherever Affinity Xtra, and I'm bringing up my camera and I'm doing what I do in whatever capacity I can be to serve. I think we need to serve this in the UK. So what I would encourage as well, if you're from the southern areas of our city, I would encourage you to take the day out, man. It's bank holiday weekend. I know our churches sometimes make up good reasons to be at a conference or convention. I think that's great and fantastic, but the majority of us might not be in them spaces. So I would just encourage us, to really take the time out, take the weekend out, go enjoy Liverpool itself as well. Book a hotel. You know what I'm saying? Chill out there. There's some cool spots from there. If you're in London, canned drinks are a bit cheaper in Liverpool than in London, so you can survive a bit longer. So it's something that
I've just always got something to say about Liverpool, man. Come on. I mean, I know you don't like the team, but come on, there's a whole city outside of the team. There's even another club.
Well, guys, I absolutely love going. I always have to find a reason why I don't love going. I absolutely love it. I was up there.
He does. He comes here a lot for all of his talk. He's actually here a lot.
You know what I mean? So I kind of know the way too well now. But no, it's fantastic. And I would just encourage everybody, please go to the website, go to the Instagram, and please let's go out there, support it. You got young children and you want them to just go to an event, and enjoy themselves. Just go and support. And what I would do, not only support, follow. If you cannot go, follow, share, talk to people. Let's talk about this, because this festival, God's winning is not going to be, this is the last, it'll be continuing God's winning. And we need to start the country talking about this festival. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the videos, looking at the following socials, joining the newsletters, being part of what's going forward here still, because we're here to celebrate gospel music of Black origin. And the one space I must admit that kind of love going to is this the Slavery Museum. Oh, I don't know if that's the word right for it. Is that what it called? Is it Slavery Museum?
International Slavery Museum.
International Slavery Museum. And I've been there twice with my sons when they were younger, and for me, it's kind of a weird, kind of special when, if we're going to celebrate, it's a space where we go back and we just like almost pay homage on something that really was cruel to us as a people. But through that cruelty of us as a people, it squeezed out excellence when it came to creativity, and part of this creativity, this excellent creativity, has been one of the greatest, and I've celebrated the greatness of what we've brought into gospel music of black origin. When we have things, music of black origin hits the world, it makes a difference. You know what I'm saying? And coming out of this space, we've produced gospel music. We've produced some of the greatest artists outside of gospel as well. And we need, for me, there's nothing wrong but celebrating UK. But now it's time to celebrate UK. I know we look across the pond. It's time to celebrate UK. I'm not going to speak to Anu about future dealings with US artists. We're going to put an embargo on. I think we're going to make sure the tariffs are high. You know what I'm saying?
They want to come. They really want to come.
Listen, the
I will
tariffs.
tell you this. There are things to just say from that. The history of Liverpool and slavery is actually a really, really important point as to why it's very worthy to have this gospel music festival in this city. People, I'm sure most people will know that during the transatlantic slave trade, Liverpool accounted for over 80% of slavery. So it has one of the oldest mixed race population in the country, on account that for centuries before the Windrush generation, that their slaves were coming to this city and brought music along with them, and actually, in terms of one of the songs that we always think about when we come to gospel music, Amazing Grace, Newton, who wrote that, was a slave trader, and it was in his reckoning with what he was doing when God pulled him up and showed him the error of his ways, and with his finding Christ and turning around, that he wrote that song Amazing Grace. Another really interesting piece of history is that the Fisk Jubilee singers, who are well known to have been hugely instrumental in the commencement of the choral sound of gospel music in the States, actually visited the UK around between sort of 1873 and the years after, and they performed in London for the Queen Victoria at the time, but they also reportedly performed at St George's Hall in Liverpool. So it's wild. I know there are all these connections. There's a lot of great history in relation to Liverpool and black history and black music history and gospel music history in particular. So it's a good space for it. In terms of whether or not we might have different artists in the future, who knows? Let's see what God says. So we'll see.
Sorry, I'm doing Donald Trump, man. Listen, I'm Donald Trump here, man. I'm putting tariffs on that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to pay 100% tariff on 2 Rogers bank account to get in this country.
Do a Trump tariff on their artists. But who knows? Look, what you can always be clear of is that I want to celebrate us first.
Amen.
And biggest and loudest and highest, because we should be celebrated at what the work that we do in this country really deserves to be celebrated. The last thing I want to say is that if you're listening and you really, really want to come, but you genuinely are struggling financially, look, God will see your heart. Just get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do for you. That just in the way that we are making, supporting those who are struggling in our community, there might be some ways in which we can support you too. So if that is a genuine, I really do emphasize that situation, that the only thing that's stopping you is that it's we're struggling. We want to see you. We want to see you, and we want to have you with us, celebrating and enjoying the music. And as we help you, God will help us, isn't it? This is the way it goes. So we are open.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So based upon if you're struggling, but how much is the event though? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it depends. It depends on on what you want. So you go onto the website and you'll see the different ticket prices. If you're coming just for the evening, I think it's a 10 or 15 quid. If you're just coming for standing in the evening, it's as value for money as that. If you want like premium seating, I think it goes up to like 35 quid or something like that, and everything else is in between. But that but you know, bearing in mind you've got
that's
35
dirt
quid
cheap,
for premium
sis.
seating for the whole day from 3 to 11. I mean, you're not doing badly.
Nah, that's cheap, man.
Yeah.
I think people spend more going to Nando's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
So no offense to Nando's, you can still sponsor us and put some chicken next to me. But what I would say is that's cost effective for what people go out there for entertainment. They go cinema, get a popcorn and a drink. You're going straight through that. So for me,
right,
guys,
yeah.
I would just definitely encourage, whether you if you're unable to go because you're busy that weekend, please support, share to your friends, encourage people. But if you are available, guys, check out all roads to Liverpool. Listen, guys, it's the most short. It's a weird drive to Liverpool, you know, sis, because you think it's far. And as soon as you get into
but
it,
then you're there.
I
know.
It's
I
weird.
every time I do that drive a lot, you think, oh, I've got a long way to go, but then you're there.
It's weird. Once you get past Stoke, I think it's that Stoke barrier, from the Midlands here. You get past Stoke, and when you're just cruising, and when next thing you know, oh, cool, I'm here. You know what I mean? So it is a crazily cool drive. So guys, we encourage you. There is such thing called trains, and there is such thing called hotels as well still. Take the break, take the weekend. I've spent weekends up in Liverpool with my family as well, you know, and definitely it's somewhere where you can go and chill out for the weekend, man. 100%, man. You know what I mean? So Anu, thank you so much for coming out there. Coming on this, having this conversation. We will have future conversations. Go keep an eye on what they're doing and what Anu's doing, because you know, really as a choir, you know, MD choir conductor, whichever however you see
all of the above.
Yeah, all above. You know, you really have like really excelled, you know, from me knowing your output from Reaper's Choir, seeing this Reaper's Choir, and I'm thinking, who Reaper's Choir is? But you only got mobile nominated, and I went to the YouTube video and I was looking at who's this guy, you know what I mean? So I was like, obviously I had no, you know, I didn't know I knew then, but just to see the output there and then see what you're doing right now is absolutely amazing, and amazing to the team. Shout out to the Liverpool Lighthouse team. I love them guys. I love them going on there. I think when they come down, they go, "Hey, where's?" I can't even say Roger Moore in the Liverpool accent.
No, it's 007.
007.
They actually call you 007. Your name is at Lighthouse. Your name is 007. I'm like, oh, I'm just coming. Oh, 007.
I'm not even gonna try the accent, guys, because I'll get cancelled if I try the Liverpool accent.
Well, they do eat me for the accent as well, to be honest. But my accent's getting better. I love it. It's so melodic. Yeah.
No, it's definitely a different accent. But no, guys, please do your best to check into this. Even if you see this video after the event, support the movement. You're going to check out the links in there. Support what's going on with Liverpool Lighthouse and what they're doing in Liverpool, all the choirs that are involved, all the bands that are called, all the music involved. And do check out, because Affinity will be there with Uncut, and we'll be chopping it up and putting it out there. So anybody who missed out, you can see the clips, but being live cannot touch YouTube. Trust me, people. And you get to meet more new people. You know what I'm saying? Get to be around different people.
The big thing,
community.
And Liverpool is a friendly city, so you come up there and you feel good. Everyone talks to you as a stranger, and you know you're not gonna feel on your own. You're not gonna feel alone. You're gonna be welcomed. It's a good atmosphere. It really is.
It's definitely a vibe, people. You know what I'm saying? But listen, this is Roger here on Affinity Xtra, celebrating gospel music of Black origin, and we are celebrating the fact that we're gonna have a gospel festival full of music of black origin. Yeah, I'm saying, you know, and it's gonna be hosted by Liverpool Lighthouse, and the director for that show is going to be Anu Omideyi. And listen, we pray for you guys, and we pray that you have a fantastic event and festival, and I will be there, most definitely. Yeah. God bless you, sis. And listen, this is Roger, over and out.
Hey, this is your bishop. This is your bishop from Rock Solid. Thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much for clicking and subscribing, and also sending these videos to other people as well. We are so hungry to get your support. So remember, check us out on our website, and also check us out on Insta, and wherever you want to find us on Spotify. You can play us all day as well. And just make sure that you are supporting this channel, that we are developing our agenda towards music of black origin, and that is gospel music with a message. So please walk with us on this journey. Bye now.